Okay guys, here's a tutorial on the Murder Drone Choker. This is a complete beginner, so this will be how to do peyote stitch, how to add on the keychains, and how to make an absolute solver, and how to attach it. Everything step by step. Yes. Okay, so onto the supplies. We will need beads, specifically black for the choker part, and whatever color you want your absolute solver symbol to be. We're going to need keychains to clip together, like I said in the video. And then, this is optional, a needle. I'm specifically using black string, so then it blends in with it. And then, here's a trigger warning. And then, scissors. Okay, so we can set the keychains aside for now. So now, oh my god, let me zoom that out. Okay, also you're on my phone stand, so that's what this is. Okay, so you're gonna take about this much string. It's not a specific amount. So yeah, we're gonna cut that much. Then we're gonna add on 10 beads. We're starting off with the solver part, by the way. I don't know if I said that. But you're gonna add on 10 beads of the solver color. Okay, now once you got your 10 beads, you're gonna angle it so then there's a little string and then a long string, so then we don't waste that much string. Then we're gonna tie it very tightly. There really doesn't have to be any stretch in this. Same thing with the choker also. I will be pulling very tightly on the choker because, at least for me, it does not have to stretch since there are keychains. And also, just ignore me yapping when I do stuff instead of pausing the actual video. Anyway, so yeah. And then, unlike like the stars and stuff, we're actually gonna be cutting off this tiny string. Then, again, this was optional, you don't need it. Then I'm gonna be tying on my needle to the long string. I hope I'm doing a good job at explaining. Anyway, so now we don't really have to angle it. So we're going to be going into one of the beads right next to the knot. So here's the knot. We're sticking out of here. Then we're going into this bead right here. Now, once we're sticking out of this bead, we're going to be adding on 2 beads. Now, don't do anything yet. Let that fall to the very bottom of your string. Add 3 beads. And then go back. So make sure there's 3 and 2. Then we're going to be going in this direction down those 2 beads. Then pulling very tightly. And then it should create our first solver's point. And then we're going to go in this direction down that bead that we first went into. So kind of like it hooks it on. If I can get my needle through it. Oh my god, I'm struggling. Was I not recording that entire time? I don't think I was recording that entire time. Oh no. Well, you better learn the loop method on how to tie this off. So, I'm severe credit card debt. So yeah, that entire 5 minutes just got edited out. That's great. Okay, now I'm using scrap string. I don't know why I have this long of scrap string. So we're gonna take our new string. This is the choker part. Then we're gonna fold it in half. Then you're gonna put 2 beads on each end, kind of like this. Well, not kind of, like that. Then we're gonna put our 2 strings together, and then we're gonna put our bead through, like that. Doing that again, putting our beads on each end, and then they'll fall. And then putting our 2 strings together. Oh my god, this is the most unhinged tutorial ever. Then putting it like that. Pulling very tightly until it falls to the bottom. then it should kind of look like this. Look somewhat like this. Now, you're gonna measure your neck length neck. I don't know. And also make sure that it has enough room, so then you can clip together these two clips. So I did mine. I'm not counting all that. Here. You know what? If you really want to count it, here you go. This was the entire thing. Just count how many bumps there are and then multiply that by 2, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to be doing mine the same exact length. I really don't know why I did that. But anyway, so yeah, do that the entire way. And I'm sorry, I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning. And I have school tomorrow. That's my first day, so I am so unhinged right now. And I also don't really want to be doing this, but I kind of have to. So this is my only time that I get. Okay, I'll see you guys when I get the base done. And also make sure that ends in 2. I don't know. I like to do the 2, so then you guys can also learn. Okay, you want to do whatever you want. I don't really care. Okay, so I'm back. Make sure you're pulling very tightly on this. By the way, mine's very loose, and that is indeed a problem. But that doesn't really matter because I don't really care. Okay. Now, you're just going to be tying that off. Like I said, mine's going to be ending in 2. Yours doesn't have to end in 2, but it can. I will say ending it in 1 is way easier, but I wanted to, I think it's easier with 2 at the end. Okay. Tying this a couple times. Okay. Now, I like to cut off the shorter end, and then I'll leave it to the side in case I have the time more. Okay, so I'm going to be taking my needle, putting it on the string, like this. Now, it's way different if you did 1. So good luck if you did 1. I'm going to be explaining the 2-way. That's why I said it was going to be easier if you did the 2-way. Anyway, so now you're going to be going up a bead. I don't know why it's not focusing. Focus. Lock in. Okay. So then go into one of the top beads. Now we're going to be adding on a bead. Then going into that next bead, sticking up. Make sure it's on the same row. We don't want to be twisty. So then it should kind of look like this. And we're going to be doing that again. Peyote stitch is very repetitive. Then doing like that. Going into that next one. Adding on a bead. Going into that next one. Adding on a bead, going into that next one, just like this. Okay, so just remember we're only on our first row, and then we're gonna have to do 1 more row after this. So it's pretty short. This isn't very time consuming. Okay, so then we're just gonna be doing that all the way until you get to this bead right here. And then I will see you when that is over with. I am back, and I have this sort of a smiley face. So yeah, it should be looking like this. Now, I'm going to tie on my other string. Now, I feel like I show this in every tutorial, but you can never show it too many times. Anyway, so you're going to be taking 2 strings of one that you want to attach and one that is attached. You're going to be crossing them and then putting one underneath and then just basically a knot. Then doing that a couple times. It's very simple. I like it doing it this way. Some people take the 2 strings and then they wrap them around each other. I don't understand that. One time my tie fell apart in public because I did that method. And yeah, cutting off the... You can leave them on, but I just don't. Okay, now, so it's basically going to be the same exact thing, just there's going to be there's going to be a couple things different with this last row. And also, guys, we're almost done. This has only been 10 minutes. Wow. Anyway, so we're going to be taking our little smiley face, putting on a bead, and then that bead that we just added, which is right here, we're going to be going into that bead in this direction, and it'll kind of just sit like this. And then we're going to be doing what we have been, adding a bead and then going into that one sticking up. Like I said, this is our last row. You can make it as big or as small as you want. Just make sure that you're pulling very tightly so then it does not end up like a smiley face in the end. Which I'm kind of nervous about that. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, pulling it very tightly. Because this is what the keychains are for. So you might be cooked if you don't have any keychains. I'm sorry. So yeah, just doing what we have been all the way across. Go. Okay, so as we get to the last bead, so I'm putting on the last bead. Oh no, my needle. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, anyway. Oh my god, what happened to the brightness? Let me turn that up. There we go. Okay, so we're going to be adding on a bead. Yeah, going to that next one. Okay, so yeah, as we get to the last one, you'll see that we don't have anywhere to put the bead. So, again, this is for the two people. So we're going to be taking a bead. So this is a very visual thing. So let me zoom in so you can get the full view. Okay, so we're going to be taking a bead and we're going to be going in this direction through that last bead. So then it'll kind of place it like this. Like that. Now we're going to be going up diagonally into this bead. And also mine's very floppy, I don't know why. And then going directly down in this direction. Going up into that middle one on the end row. And then we're just going to kind of leave it like that. And then we're going to be doing that same exact loop thing. So we're going to be going underneath here. And then we're going to be going through that loop. Then underneath that loop. And then put the string through that loop. Oh no. 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 String. Loop. Loop. The loop is not looping. Wait, I found the loop. Wait, hold on. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay, never mind. Maybe I do that. Okay. It's a learning process for everyone, including me. Ew. Okay. And then I recommend tying it way more times, but I'm getting rage baited, so I'm just going to cut it off. Now we have both parts to our thing. Yay. Now I'll be teaching you how to add on our little keychains. So I personally put them a little bit up because I couldn't really figure out how to do otherwise. Anyway, yes, I was watching DDLC, but that's not the point. Okay, so when I'm really watching, I can't really play it. I don't know why. Anyway, so we're going to be taking scrap string. We're going to be going through one of the beads on the top. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be going through this one right here. Then we're just going to be adding on one of our keychains to one of the string's ends. Like this. Like that. And then we're just going to be tying it off very tightly so then the keychain does not fall off. Then on that second knot, I like to kind of position it just to make sure that it doesn't get stuck that way. Then we're just going to be tying it 2 more times, then cutting off the scrap strings. Oh, did I just cut a knot? And I don't even know at this point. Okay, then we're just going to be doing that same exact thing with the other keychain. I need to cut more scrap string. I know I have a lot, but I have this thing with the certain length. Now we need to make sure that we're putting it in that exact order. So you see how this one's at the top? So this one also has to be at the top. It'll also be all diagonal, and we don't really want that, so yeah. Then doing exactly what we just did. Putting on keychain. And then tying it very tightly. Hey, look, it already went that way. Positioning it. Tying it. Okay, just like this. Now we're going to be cutting off the scrap string, whatever. Now we have our choker bit done. Now we're going to take our solver. Oh my god, finally this tutorial is going to end. Okay, so at least for me, this is even. Like the bumps are even. So I'm going to go to point 10 because I have 20 points right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So on the 10th one, I'm going to be taking some string, going through that one. Also, this is my neck measurements. Don't compare them to yourself. So, yeah, we're going to be taking it through there. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Now, just make sure the solver looks like this. So then this is our top point. Also, I know it's upside down. This is just better for me how to work. So then you can either put it to that, or you can make it like a loop. So I'm going to make mine's a loop because I think the loop has more style. Actually, no, I'm not going to. I'm getting too rage rated that I don't want to. But yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, so yeah, tying the two strings together. Then cutting, oh god, I realized that it wasn't in the camera. Anyway, so now you have our choker. Now I have two. Hooray, huzzah. Anyway, so I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it helped someone or something. I don't know. I hope it helped someone. And have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.